Hello. So I have been saying I'm going to be doing this release work today, January 3rd, in conjunction with this full moon. That's a wolf moon, it's a full moon in Cancer, and it's specifically for releasing energies that we don't want connected with our life. Because sometimes when we are looking at creating, we get so focused on that, we forget we have energies and blocks where, no matter how much we want to bring something in, we need to clear out the old to make for the new. Hello, this is my cat. He's obviously feeling it. So I'm just a bit worried because I've got the flame burning. So I created this earlier. It's part of some spell work I'm doing for somebody in relation to welcoming in new love. And part of this process, because we're going to have a great new moon on the 18th, is to release our old thought patterns, emotional baggage. And as you can see, I must have started this probably 15 minutes ago. I like to, one of the things that you can do is write down, I love parchment paper like this, and I like to use a real ink pen, and this is a really pretty one, and write down what it is you're trying to release. So if you've got some blocks and only you know what these blocks are, or maybe someone can assist you with them. It might be something you're thinking like, I can't attract love, I'm bad with money, I'm not lucky. Things like that we need to catch ourselves saying and wonder where this limiting self-belief has come from. And I've literally got a full on fire here. It's very sunny here in my kitchen. And I feel like I need to blow it out, but I don't want to extinguish it for obvious reasons. The intention note is already burned through, so I probably could, but it's really hot. And so I feel like, as per what we know already, this moon phase, these brilliant moon phases that we've had from December going. Sorry, my video ran out and I had a phone call. So the brilliant moon phase that we've been experiencing, they're all part of this energetic process. And that's why I think, or I believe, that we're going to start seeing 2026 being amazing. So this is the first part in that. And like I said, you can get very focused on positive thought, manifesting, etc., etc. And I love those things as much as the next person. However, we must recognize in those processes, one of the biggest things we have to do, and it doesn't have to be all in one go, is we have to identify where we need to extract things in our life that are not to our higher good, really. And so some of those things, I did a couple of short videos. I thought I was going to be able to go live, but I couldn't. And, I have to do it this way. So, if you want to ask any questions, you can pop them in the comments. I will answer them. And most of these things are tried and tested ways of getting rid of a lot of it's our own tensions in our body, our own negative thought patterns, and ideas that we no longer need. We don't need to hold on to them. So I mentioned the emotional baggage releasing. I've mentioned outdated security blankets and relationships that are codependent. And also just want to touch on that a little bit, because codependence is, often very negatively talked about. But when we're forming an interdependent relationship, we do want to need someone and have them need us. It's just whether you're operating as an individual within the context of that couple boundary. So it is a real skill, and it is sometimes something that some of us have blocks on because we have unlearned to release memories from the past, or we become very overprotective, or we become very hyper independent or hyper vigilant. And so doing these, well-known practices, not breaking any ground here. I earlier, as I said, got the candle absolutely going flipping crazy. This was for someone's love spell. It's really, really burning. As I said, it's really hot. You can write your intention on the thing. You can burn that. You can wait. And in one of the little videos I just did, you can plant it with a seed. That's really nice, because as that seed starts to grow, you can focus on the progress that you've made and see how different you feel, see where what progress you've made. And I feel like this is a really progressive month. And in the context of January this year, we can check in again on the 18th, making sure we're doing that release work from now till then, and be really cleared of it. So what, sorry, I have to look down because I have got a scatty brain, and if I don't write it down, I'll forget the things I wanted to talk about. So one of the things that we might find that we've been struggling with is over-functioning, always feeling like we need to be productive, that we need to be seeing a result. And one of the great things about this release work for this moon phase is that what we should be doing is breath work to release our anxieties, our tensions, yoga, meditation. If you're not into that in any way, you can do something as simple as sitting on your sofa, wrapping up warm, going outside, going for a walk. Breathing is, absolutely underrated. It's how we regulate ourselves. I actually have an issue which affects my breathing, and I really miss being able to do really deep breathing. And so if you're able to do that, and you can calm yourself through regulating your breathing, that is sometimes just enough. And it's enough to, before you light your candle, before you set your intentions, before you put this out away and get rid of it, you should be calming, taking some deep breaths right down to your solar plexus, letting it come up and relax. So you can do that through meditation. You can do it in your own peace. You can do it listening to something that calms you. We also might have been previously very aware of what our public persona is. And our public persona doesn't necessarily mean, like being famous. It means how other people view you. And what we want to be doing, or what we can be doing with this moon phase, is releasing how other people see us. It doesn't really matter what everybody views. And I'm actually getting called to, was it Marilyn Monroe or Jane Mansfield or something, who said, what anybody thinks of me is none of my business. And that's kind of like how we should probably be trying to reframe ourselves. So let go of inhibitions in terms of worrying about what you're producing, worrying about how, what your thought processes are. I mean, self-regulation is always good, isn't it? But don't be doing stuff just so other people, so for their opinion. Make yourself accountable in this period for what you personally need. So release that need to overly focus on other people. Most of us have got responsibilities in life. We are responsible for families, for friends. We are responsible for the work we produce. And so that's important. But I'm getting a really strong feeling from my readings that we really do need to be focusing on our own dreams and our own, where we're getting that intuitive pull. And during this release phase today, for the next few days, what you want to be doing is slowing down. You might be sort of feeling a little pressure to crack on with the new year and, stuff like that. But you want to slow it down. So my recommendations are classic things: journaling, writing and burning, self-care, salt bathing. So when you perhaps tonight get your candle out, write down what you want to release, think about it, do your breath work. After you've completed that and you've gone out, I love to go out and stand in the new moon like a weirdo. Once you've gone out and done that, or you've cleansed your stones or your crystals or your tarot deck, maybe take yourself back in, have a lovely salt bath. But I also then like to shower, and that water releasing energy, washing away what's gone on in the day, but also washing away your anxieties and your negativities and keeping calm. You need to physically and emotionally cleanse. And often that simple act of bathing, swimming, some people, it's not for me, but some people love to go for like a cold water sea swim, or whatever. You can keep that one to yourself. That's not for me. And meditate or quiet reflection to connect with intuition and instinct. And some people like to clear out all their Christmas decorations at this time of year. I've still got mine up. I like to keep them up to the 6th. But to refocus on your home life, to cozy it, to give gratitude, which is an essential part of your release work. Give gratitude for the things that you've got. And sometimes if we're in a bit of a funk, we might over focus on the lack, the lack of what we've got. But what we really need to do is find things to be grateful for. And they don't have to be big things. They can be little things. One of my things that I've always said to people is I love tea. Yeah. This isn't actually not tea. It's Kit Kat latte. But I love tea. And I can be ridiculously happy with a cup of tea. So if you've got something like that, or you're able to get outside, be in nature, or you take a walk to the beach if you're near a beach, or a little bit of woodland that's near you if you're not so blessed to be near the coastline. You can pick up a stone, they carry loads of energies, or find a plant that you like, and just notice the things around you. Or like today, it's very frosty outside. I've already been outside, and it's really icy here. I'm in the southern part of the UK, and but the sun is out. And as I said, I'm in my kitchen. The sun's coming through the window. I can barely see. I can't actually see what I'm creating here. The sun's out, and it's really nice. It's a really nice feeling. So make some time to just feel your body and try and release any tension that you've got. And know that when you're doing this, maybe create some affirmations. So if you understand that the blocks that you've got are particular to you, you can create an affirmation. So I have written down some here for some of the people who have asked me to do spell work for them, who've asked me to do tarot readings for them. and who've been specific about the things that are affecting them. And these are some of the affirmations that I've created. They're very simple. You can create your own. Again, nothing crazy. That will help with these things. So one of them is I release the need to be strong. And that is not resisting, you know, the fact that you might be ill, you might be tired, you might have gone through some disappointments, you might have lost a job, you might have lost a loved one. You know, we all sort of feel that need to battle on, but the best thing we can do sometime is actually give into it. And it's okay to release that need to be strong. If we don't feel like connecting with other people, we can just hibernate a little bit. And one of my tarot cards from the Lightseer deck is one of my favourite for that sort of feeling. It's the Four of, I think it's the Four of Swords, but she's in a little nest and she's all curled up and she's in her little cocoon. So if that's part of your healing and you don't want to be sociable and you need a day off and you want to cry or you want to, you know, speak to somebody that will understand and you want to offload a little bit, that's okay. The people that love us will let us not be strong for that minute. So I release the need to be strong. I release outdated relationship patterns from 2025 and before. So where we're trying to find new love, we need to really reflect, and sometimes this is painful. We need to release these outdated patterns that we have. And we need to also release that expectation that comes with this. How is this going to come to me? Or our expectations on other people. We want to make sure that this is, you know, a good foundation for moving forward. We want to be our best versions. So I release outdated relationship patterns from 2025 before. And that could be anything. That could be, I'm not going to do this. You know, I'm not going to use online dating because it's full of people that are, you know, whatever. It's no good. I'm not going to find somebody because all the good people are taken. Whatever our mode of thinking is, I'm not good enough. I'm not wealthy enough. I'm not pretty enough. I'm not fit enough. I'm not enough. Yeah, we need to get rid of that, because once it's not to say you need to be in denial. Maybe we're not the best looking person on the planet. Maybe we're pretty bad with money. Maybe any of those things. We need to acknowledge that ourselves. But what we need to do is let it go and make sure before we start setting our intentions for changing things that we don't want in our life, we need to let that go. And we need to forgive ourselves for the aspects that we believe we're falling short on. So release those patterns, release that people needing state, really understand yourself and be ready to set yourself up and welcome in new love, because definitely for some of you that is coming this year. And you know, this preparation work is going to make you irresistible to the right person. And sometimes this wait process is exactly what we've needed, and the person that comes to us is just right for us. I clear family dynamics that no longer serve me. So this is a really fascinating one, because it affects so many of us in so many ways, where we play a role within the structure of our family. We play the daughter, the mother, the grandma. We play the wife, the girlfriend, the friend, the enemy. And other people view us as certain roles, and sometimes we feel really accountable for that role in us. Well, this is a brilliant time to clear that dynamic. If you don't want to be the dutiful daughter, you don't want to be the loving wife. You don't want to be the amenable sibling. That can go. You can reinvent under this phase what it is you want to be. And we so often get trapped in that family dynamic. Well, we're the caregiver, we're the provider, we're this. And part of this was about being responsible for what it is you want to produce and not worrying about what other people think. So I clear family dynamics that no longer serve me. I release the need to people please, it ties in with it, or minimize my needs for the comfort of others. I feel like I'm setting fire to my kitchen. So that's essential. 1 second, I need to put the fire out. Wow. I thought I was being a bit dramatic. I'm not going to pick it up because it's boiling. So I tried to blow it out. And it wouldn't blow out. So I thought, oh, I better just get a bit of water because, I mean, it wasn't out of control. I thought I was being dramatic because I said, oh, I better put the fire out. I popped a bit of water on it. It's a very scented wax candle. And it... So, of course, nothing's by coincidence. And that's just explaining how much energy this moon phase is in. And it's actually left a mark on my kitchen table. And it's sizzling and cracking and it looks like it's calmed down a little bit. But the top part of the candle jar... I won't tell you what brand it is because I'm wondering if it's actually safe. The top part of the candle jar just popped off in a whole circle in a full moon. I mean, I've got my little, I don't know if it's too hot for me to touch. Like, true story. Sorry about that. So, maybe that's particularly significant in removing the need to people please. Maybe you're ready to explode and, you know, you're about to your fuse is about to go. Great. Personally, I rather, speak my truth without the explosion, but we all get triggered at times. So back to what I was saying, I release negative or self-critical thoughts or patterns. This is, what this video is about for you, releasing those thought patterns to prepare us for the creation of what we want. Because as I said, there's some of this now people call it toxic positivity, manifest. And I do believe that. But we have to do the work. And this is a bit which is not so spritzy fairy, magical, lovely. Because the reason most of us don't do the work is because it's uncomfortable. And we hide away from the fact that, we don't want to be seen as negative. Sometimes we don't even know we're being negative. And when we are self-critical and we hear that internally, it does feel like someone else is criticizing us. And the trouble with this is it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. So you need to release the self-critical thoughts. So if you catch yourself saying, I'm a mean person, for instance, I'm really mean, I think you need to stop that and think, why would I be saying that? Or, I don't have a good body. I don't have anything to offer someone. What is it that's making you say that? Is it Are you replaying from negative family dynamics? Have you heard that? Have you been criticised a lot? Why do you feel like that? And when you want to release something like that, you want to write it down, like I said, you can stand in the shower, you can salt bath, and you need to, you know, be kind to yourself. Say, you know, I am worthy of good things. I will provide these things for myself. I don't need it to come from another person. I don't need my worth tied up in what I earn. I am not, you know, I am not what I criticize myself for. So you can write those things down. You can just verbalize it, speak it into action. It says, I welcome in self-care and self-love and accept love and loving support. And I use this release of unwanted feelings and habits to speak my truth honestly. Speak it into truth. And once we do start doing that, once we catch ourselves, once we hear people unfairly criticizing us, we can then start to feel empowered, and we can start to feel ready to welcome in these new blessings that we're getting. Incidentally, you don't need any special things to do this. You can literally speak it, use your everyday items like your shower, your candles are exploding, and you can write in notebooks. So for most of the time I've used general notebooks, but I did treat myself last year to my little grimoire, which I love. It's got a little thingy on and it's all parchmenty. When I do spells, I write them down, etc., and then I write down what the outcome was to them, and I love having that record of them. And so, you know, whatever it is you're doing, you know, you can write it down now. I'm releasing this. Bury it, burn it, let it go. You don't really want it sat round as an affirmation, because you want the affirmation to be positive. That's the thing you want to set in the intention. So you do want to burn it, throw it into water, you know, speak it out of existence. So it's gone. And just to finally recap on some of these rituals that you can do, that you can use, and if you, again, want some help with them, you can contact me via YouTube comments, via Instagram, via my personal, you know, my messenger, and, you know, I can help you or guide you. You can, of course, book a personal tarot reading, or I've got combo spells. The link will be in the description of this video, but you can book spell work if you want that extra assistance. But obviously you can do this yourself, because it's about empowering you and going on the journey. Just sometimes we want a little bit of extra help along the way, and, you know, someone that understands, who's gone through these phases, who's grown as a person, and who's been able to create their own world and coach you through it, really. So have a look at those if any of that's interesting. But the powerful release rituals that you need, and I might do some little mini series on them, without exploding, with or without exploding candles, is breath work. There's loads of information you can get about breath work, but it is part of meditation. But even simply sitting in nature, sitting in your living room if you need to, but I do advocate going out, breathing, and calming and releasing it, releasing that tension. Very good. Yoga. It's not for me, yoga, but it is a great tool. Cord cutting. I love a bit of cord cutting. So when you think I've released it, but you're still coming back and you're still getting things, cut these cords, symbolically cut the cords and the links to the people or the situations that you need. If you can't overcome heartbreak, do a cord cutting exercise. I'll probably do a video on that at another point, but you can look it up anywhere. Gratitude, my favourite, my absolute favourite. In my darkest times, I created a habit of gratitudes. And like I said earlier in the video, sometimes we can be going through something very different, a bereavement, a financial issue, a love issue, and it can really dig deep at our core. And we can feel overwhelmed and a little like we've got nothing to be grateful for. But I set into a habit of finding 10 things to be happy for. My tea was one of them, because I would sit in peace with a warm cup of tea or a warm drink and think, do you know, actually right now I feel relaxed. And if I can feel relaxed now, I can create that. So if you can find a little ritual, hold a gem, have a necklace that you love, ring, jewelry, something, or you can write yourself a little reminder of what it is you want, that you love about your life. Even if it's a tiny thing, even if it is, I'm tenacious, write it down, fold it up, pop it in your purse, and keep it with you. And then when you need it, you can go back and get it. But your gratitudes, you can write them down at the end of the day, because that is a nice way to sleep, to wake up in the morning having said your gratitudes. And speak aloud, we've mentioned it, touched on it earlier. And I like the fact that when you speak aloud, it also means being allowed to speak. So give yourself permission to speak up and speak your truth. You don't have to be aggressive with it. You don't have to be dominant with your opinion. You just need to give yourself permission that you have as much, what's the word I wanted to use? Reverence in this world, as much reverence as the next person. So if something's not as you choose, speak it. You don't have to be mad about it. You can just say, well, that's not actually what I believe. And then this evening, and any evening you've had a tough day, take your shower, wash and cleanse. Even if you want to splash a bit of cold water on you, just to freshen yourself up. Run your hands underwater, immerse yourself in a shower, lay in a salt bath, whatever it is, bit over the top with a salt bath. But, this will help you relax and then cut the ties from the situation that you want to be extricated from. And say that in a positive. I cut the ties. I release you from my life. I lovingly free you to another place. I extricate the hurt from me and leave space for something warm and beautiful, or I leave space to welcome in abundance in my life. And I mentioned earlier, maybe in this video I've already forgotten, and maybe in another one, one of the lovely little things you can do is plant your intention, plant your burned, if you've still got it left, your burned note, and plant it with a seed. And you can watch that seed grow on your windowsill in your garden. And if you can put a little label, I love labeling things, little label, and it will remind you that you've released something. And from that release, you are creating something new. You're creating something beautiful. So this evening, what I hope for you is that you will take one or multiple aspects of this and you will bathe in the moonlight, figuratively or actually, and light your safe candle and get your crystals or whatever it is with your things that you want to get rid of and set them out. Be specific, be grateful, and take action. Happy full moon.